They saying they found cancer in synthetic braiding hair
is causing women to
Okay,
get
so the braiding hair got cancer in it,
synthetic
y'all.
braiding hair is extremely
Kanekalon hair should be illegal.
can actually cause cancer.
Over the past few years, we've seen multiple reports exposing how products primarily marketed to black women contain toxic ingredients. At first, it was relaxer being linked to fibroids and cancer, and then certain natural hair brands caused a lot of black women's hair to fall out in clumps, their scalp were inflamed and red and itchy, and eventually leading to hair loss. And now we have the Consumer Report of 2025 stating that braiding hair, our own braiding hair, has some cancer-causing chemicals. Interesting. Probably this is a sign that black women should come back home, figuratively. I mean, this world is not your home. You're just a passerby. It's time to return to your roots, your natural hair. Actually, I do use braiding hair, but then again. Hi, I'm Essie and you're welcome to my channel where the conversation is real and Essie's got the tea. So we have some tea today. It's either you spill it or you drink it, however you want to do it, but there is a tea to be teed. Anyways, you guys, I don't know, every single day they keep bringing out different things that is about to kill us. If this one is not killing us, that one is killing us, this one is poisoning, this one is not poisoning. Hey, let us breathe, please. A recent Consumer Report study revealed that braiding hair, the one we used to braid and do the boho braids and the other things that we love to do as black people, contains some toxic, cancer-causing ingredients. So let's take a look at the report. But before then, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up and let's get it over with.
Our latest investigation found carcinogens in all 10 products of artificial braiding hair that we tested. Beauty products such as synthetic braiding hair are largely unregulated, and some ingredients are not required to be listed on the package. This puts the health of people who wear synthetic braiding hair and the braiders who install them at risk. If you wear synthetic braids, one tip to decrease your overall exposure is to take breaks between installs. Braids are often worn for many weeks, and prolonged repeated exposure increases your risk. We contacted all synthetic braiding hair brands we tested for comment. Only two, Sensational and Magic Fingers, responded, both disagreeing with our testing methodology. Hair's own Sensational said, "We unequivocally stand by the safety of Sensational products, and our company urges consumers to continue to confidently use Sensational products." Magic Finger said that we strongly stand by the safety of our products and the quality materials used to make them. Neither company responded to questions about whether or not they do pre-market testing of their products for lead, volatile organic compounds, or other contaminants. Read our full investigation, including other concerning findings from our tests, through the link.
What's your thought on this? Kindly share in the comment section. We've heard about the dangers and risks of relaxer, and when that came out, it was met with mixed responses. Some people completely removed relaxer from their routine. They went back natural, and some people were like,
Never do such a thing.
to be very honest, relaxer sales never died. Relaxer is still selling like mad. Do you think this recent report on braiding hair is going to, create a positive impact, or do you think it's going to be overlooked just the same way relaxers were overlooked? Let me know in the comment section. Synthetic braiding hair is made from Kanekalon and it's primarily manufactured by companies in Asia. Now, for black people, braiding hair has been more than just an accessory. It's been a cultural staple for us, dating back to centuries, which we use for protection and identity. Braiding hair became very prominent in the 1970s to 1990s, and it was popularized by black people. I'm talking about black celebrities like Janet Jackson, Brandy, and our Y2K buddies in Nollywood. I hope you all know that. And black people have been wearing braids for centuries, right? I'm talking about hairstyles like cornrow, Fulani braids, bantu knots, and it is deeply rooted in African history. So even though these hair were not manufactured by black people, which is surprising, black people are the target market because we are the main consumer of braiding hair. We add braiding hair to our hairs or our hairstyle to create length and volume. Even before the rise of braiding hair in Japan in the 1950s, black people have been very creative by using natural materials to style our hair, African threading, straws, raffia, and all that. So you see how braiding hair has been a part of us for a long time. That is why I said it was primarily marketed to black women, because we are the ones that use braiding hairs a lot. I do know that black people have been using braiding hair ever since I was born. I know that I was born to this world and I saw braiding hair. Okay. The reality is some of the Kanekalon fiber can contain chemicals that can be harmful for us. I'm talking about the alkaline coating, the flame retardant, phthalate. These things can be harmful, and that is why you're always advised to always soak your braiding hair before you notice some whitish residue once you've soaked your braiding hair with baking soda or apple cider vinegar. All right, that is the coating coming off, because some of these ingredients are made to make your braiding hair flexible and not stiff. If you notice, if you are to compare braiding hair with wool, you notice that wools are more stiff than braiding hair. So some of the chemicals they use is to reduce tangle, flammability, and also to increase flexibility. Right? That is why you can put your braiding hairstyle, that's why you can put your braids in different and multiple hairstyles. But the truth is, it is very toxic. So the chemicals can easily inflame your hair and your scalp, and can also be an endocrine disruptor. And when you know that, they would unbalance your hormone. And the thing is, we also soak this hair in hot water after making it to increase more flexibility and make it look, a lot more natural. And according to this report, the more you soak it in hot water, the more toxins are being released. I don't even know. Now, of course, reports like this is going to create a lot of stir, and it is bound to create some controversy. All right, some people feel like these findings were exaggerated, and we also have some scientists coming out to debunk this claim. Let's listen to what they have to say.
James and his colleagues at Consumer Reports were so kind to provide the methodology for their scientific testing, so let's have a comb through it. Now, everything as far as the skeleton of the methodology seems sound, but there's a massive flaw as far as the sampling is concerned. James, you only tested 2 samples per product, James. You did not perform any statistical analysis because you didn't have enough data to. And by extension, this experiment and its findings are statistically insignificant. They don't mean anything. But I'm sure you're already aware of that. That's why you didn't attempt to get this quarter-baked report published. Because no reputable scientific journal would even entertain the idea of it, which is why most of the brands didn't even respond to your inquiries. If I worked for them, I would have burst out laughing reading this undergraduate level report while holding my morning coffee. These are preliminary findings at best that actually have the potential for significance. But instead of keeping it in-house and performing further testing, you decided to come to social media and present underdeveloped, dangerous, and careless findings to unsuspecting black people, black women, under the false pretense that they are at the forefront of your research. Get back to the lab and conduct proper, publishable research, or don't do it at all. So to James and the Consumer Reports team, please do not fall back into my scientific crosshairs again, especially when it pertains to the black community. Because next time, I may just take the shot. Let's all be guided. That's it from me.
All right, let's dissect Consumer Reports' findings that synthetic braiding hair contains carcinogens, because people are already jumping to conspiracy theories. So they tested 10 different products for the presence of heavy metals as well as volatile organic compounds, VOCs. The brands are on the left-hand corner, including Darling, Debut, and Sensational. And they tested each product twice, which is why you see duplicates of each one. And they concluded that all 10 products contained levels of lead that exceeded the maximum allowable dose level, as set by California, because there is no national level for this. However, the MADL they went off of is for drinking water, which is only based off of oral exposure, not dermal exposure. So I emailed them asking why did they base the exposure limit off of oral exposure, not dermal exposure, because you're not eating your braids. And part of the reason they went with the oral exposure model is because of the likelihood of braiders coming in contact with the braid by eating food after braiding somebody's hair and not washing their hands, or little kids with braided hair putting the braids in their mouth. And while I understand why they went with that model, I don't agree with it because, again, you're not intentionally ingesting braids. Any contact with the mouth is incidental. Plus, the limit for lead allowed in lipstick is 5 ppm, while none of the lead concentrations in the tested braid samples exceeded 0.2 ppm. And you're much more likely to ingest lead via lipstick than you are via hair. But you might ask why is there lead allowed at all? It's because lead is kind of impossible to get rid of. It's elemental, it's in the ground. So these are very conservative limits to account for the fact that lead is just ubiquitous. And as for the VOCs, the level of benzene detected in this is far below the standard set by OSHA for daily exposure. But the biggest concern with the VOCs would be acetone, which may or may not be a concern for you if you get nails done, because you are exposed to some amount of VOCs when you boil the braids to seal the ends. So if you have any respiratory issues, breathing in that acetone might be a concern. Otherwise, I don't find their findings cause for alarm because the levels detected here are far below other things like bentonite clay. Bentonite clay has a good amount of lead in it. But ultimately, I'm just here to help you make informed decisions. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't buy.
So now we have two sides. Should we be worried? Should we be concerned? What do you all think? And do you all think that black people are being targeted, or this is just a random mistake, because many people are saying that these people are trying to poison black people. A lot of things we use, we eat, we ingest today, they contain carcinogens. They do, right? Even our fruits, if you want to eat healthy and you're going to the market to buy fruit, even fruits these days don't look like fruits. Everything seems like poison these days, and it's only God that will help us. You cannot be too careful. You touch this one, it's going to kill you. You touch that one, poison. You use this one on your skin, it's going to penetrate your pores. Everything is literally harmful. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be careful. I know we're all going to die one day, but you don't want to die one kind of stupid. We don't want to die. I don't even know how I'm going to put it, but please be careful. Don't take this as nothing. Even though it might seem like it's kind of like a fear-mongering stuff, do not take it as nothing. And from what they said it is more harmful, these chemicals are more harmful if you ingest it, like if you put it in your mouth. And I'm just thinking about all these children that would take their braiding hair and they'll start chewing it. They'll be sucking the spit and the water that has been mixed with the hair. Hey! Children, it is God that is protecting children, because the kind of crazy things kids would do. So according to what they said, these scientists, because we are just spectators. I am not a scientist. I don't know. I am an art student, so I don't really know. When these braids enter your mouth, it is more harmful and toxic. You all should be careful, please. Let's say for a moment these reports about the braiding hair were exaggerated. Does it mean that braiding hair is completely harmless? Not exactly, because from what I know, all my years of braiding my hair, even though I wear my natural hair most, what I know is that braiding hair do cause, like frequent use of braiding hair can cause your hair to be dry, and it can also lead to breakage. In fact, braiding hair is one of the leading causes of traction alopecia, especially traction alopecia around the hairline. You see young girls of today walking around with their hairline starting from here. Your hairline is not even starting from where your hairline is supposed. It's starting from the back, and you keep doing these things. You've seen that, when you took down your first protective style, you notice that it's now looking scanty. It's not looking that full. You'd still install another one. No rest, no break in between. What I took out from that consumer report, even though they said maybe from these other scientists that they were exaggerating and it's not that harmful, what I took out is back-to-back use of braiding hair can be detrimental to the health of your hair. I noticed that whenever I take down my protective style done with braiding hair, my hair feels really weightless, and my hair just doesn't feel the same. So back to back, some of you would braid your hair. You wear the braid for 6 weeks, you will take it down. As you're taking it down, you're installing new braids. No rest, your scalp is not even resting at all. And you're adding it. And what I know is that this braiding hair can be heavy on the head. And some hairstylists will take out teeny hair and they will use large chunks of hair to braid the hair. That is weighing your hair down. Some of the cornrow styles we do with braiding hair can also cause tension on the hairline, because traction alopecia is constant. It's not something you do once and you just start experiencing hair loss. Traction alopecia occurs when you constantly put tension on that spot. So you take down your protective style and you do it. So even though the whole consumer report is exaggerated, according to these other scientists, that back-to-back that is stated, you're always wearing braids every single time, it is as harmful as that toxin or the toxic ingredients in them. I genuinely do not know what to say. I use braiding hair and I think I'm also going to keep using it. But the thing about me is that I don't braid my hair every time. It's a once in a while thing. I don't go around braiding my hair like back to back. I wear my natural hair more. And when I'm not in the mood to maybe handle my hair, I just want to rest, I braid my hair. But if I'm not doing that, I use kinky. That is like what I do, or what I use for my natural hair. I think taking breaks in between your braids is like the best thing you can do right now. Because I know some people want to give excuses like, I barely have time for my hair. The braids, they help me. No, now is not the time to give those excuses. There is nothing wrong with rocking your natural hair. There's nothing wrong with wearing your hair in a puff. Many of you have infantilized our natural hairstyles to the point where your afro puff, which is also a ponytail, if you look at it, is now like a childish hairstyle to you. Take a break. Take breaks. Allow your hair to breathe. Your hair is always in this style, that style. Allow it to relax. Take your time. And another thing that I feel would also lead people's hair to break is during the course of installation. I don't think many of you even put it into consideration to care for your hair, prep your hair before making a hairstyle, and the choice of hairstyle you're going for. Some people don't have hairline. They will be doing a stitch braid, picking the teeny ones, the teeny hair that is there, causing more damage to your hair. And I also still believe that there are chemicals in this braiding hair, because why is it causing burns, redness, itching when some people install it? Some people will be like, it's allergic reaction. I still feel that there is something harmful in the braiding hair, but I don't know how bad it is. Do you understand? So we should all be very careful. And I feel like there's an alternative. There are people who are talking about this rebundu braiding hair from banana fiber or something. It's on TikTok. Yarn and wool, they are good alternative, but the only difference is they can be very stiff. I personally I love yeye wool. I don't know if what they call it, but I use yeye wool, and it just gives me that vibe. I don't know how to explain it, but yeye wool is like my favorite wool when it comes to maybe box braid. If I don't want to use braiding hair, I'm going to use yeye wool, right? But the thing is, this wool, they suck moisture from your hair like a vampire. If they want to suck moisture out of your hair, they suck moisture even more than braiding hair. That's the downside to it, because they feel like cotton. They feel like this cotton material. Do you understand what I mean? They suck more moisture from your hair. And if you thread your hair with wool and you thread your hair with rubber thread, if you take each sections down, you'd notice that the section you use that wool is drier than the one you use the rubber thread. So at the end of the day, you all should just learn to balance things. You all know I always talk about balance. And I always talk about wearing your natural hair more, because this is going to save you from a lot. And you also have access to your scalp, to your hair. In case your hair feels like it's dehydrated, you can add a little something back to it. Right? Whether or not the cancer claims are true, braiding hair, if used frequently, isn't safe either. We should all be careful. So that is it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This is going to positively impact black people to embrace their natural hair more, take breaks from breaks, or do you think they are going to overlook it as usual? Thank you for watching. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Bye bye.